Take a bow, Faf du Plessis. My lord, what an innings. I'm sorry I'm a bit late, guys. I put up a quick story because I couldn't not, because it was the first 100 in the competition. I know this show is going to be about what would you guys do with your ODI 11. We will get to that a little bit later, but let's just first revel in that magnificent innings that was put on by Faf du Plessis. He's still my captain in my heart. I always thought that he should come back for the T20 World Cup. Shocking that he didn't play in that World Cup. I think that's one of the biggest mistakes that Boucher, Smith, and the selectors made, is not calling him back in T20 cricket. I think he's got this is his fourth 100 now. I think it is in T20 cricket in the space of like a couple of I think a year or so. I don't know exactly know the stats, but I'm sure someone will correct me in the live chat. But magnificent innings. I mean, the way it started, to be able to kick on the way it did, I think it was marvelous. And to also have the problem and the struggle with having someone at the other end watching on, batting at the 60 strike rate, which was Risa Hendricks, just watching on the other side. I think it was a phenomenal performance by Faf du Plessis. But we'll get into that a little bit later. This is the show where we were going to be talking about, of course, your ODI 11s, and we will get into that a bit later on in the show. First and foremost, I'm so glad to be back, guys. I'll explain to you why I haven't been doing the live shows recently, because some of you guys have been asking me, and even I would say in South African terms, scaling me out or shouting at me for not, or reprimanding me for not being live and not doing live shows. I will explain to you a little bit later what is going on. But before we get going, before we get started, please, there's a couple of things that I need you guys to do. There are 40% of you guys that are watching our live shows that are not subscribed to the channel. So please, can you do me a favor? Can you please subscribe to this channel? Can you please click that notification bell for all future videos? And what I would like you guys to please do is also subscribe to Cricket Fanatics Magazine monthly. Every issue is 100% free, straight to your inbox every month. The link is on the screen as well as in the description. And if you want to help us grow and promote South African cricket, and also you want to help us be able to give some money to our staff as well, that are putting in a lot of hours and a lot of work for Cricket Fanatics Magazine all around the country, please become a part of our Patreon account. The link is on the screen as well as in the description. This is how you help us grow and promote South African cricket as well as Cricket Fanatics Magazine, and help us keep the show going, because this costs a lot of money for us to obviously put on the shows every single day for you guys, and to do the content we're doing. So, so please support us. Please support us by becoming a patron today. Also, go to cricketfanaticsmag.com for all regular updates, reports, reactions, features, all of those type of things are on our website. So please stay tuned for that. So without further ado, I'm so excited to chat to you guys and be back again. Let's get straight into today's video. A very good evening and welcome to Cricket Fanatics Magazine. This is your daily show. I'm your host, Khalid Mohideen, and this is the show where we talk about all the major talking points in South African cricket. Now, I'm going to start off with the chat and the live chat before I bring on our guest on the show, or our first panelist on the show, to discuss the ODI team. I also want you guys to get involved in the live chat with your ODI teams, but that's going to be a little bit later based on what the squad is, of course. So first and foremost, Faf du Plessis. What an innings. The first 100 in the SA20. It just had to be him. It's incredible that it's been done also in a Graeme Smith run tournament after they snubbed him for the T20 World Cup. We all wanted him in the team. I know majority of us wanted him in that team. He was one of the best players in South Africa at the time, all over the world with regards to T20 cricket. He helped the Chennai Super Kings as well to a title, batting superbly in that season for the IPL as well. In the IPL as well. So it was fantastic to see this actually happen, because it actually proved all of us as fans right, that Faf du Plessis is not over yet. He is still been able to dominate T20 cricket. And I think it was fantastic the way this innings was set up. I mean, at first it was a bit slow. I mean, Du Plessis and Risa Hendricks only scored 41 runs in the power play, and a lot of us were calling for them to be like the opening partnership for South Africa. And this was an opportunity for us to see the chemistry and how they bat together. And it was very interesting because Faf du Plessis said something very interesting in the tournament, in the post-match press conference. He said specifically that batting is about the partnership. So he had a conversation with Riza to tell him, just get me on strike. You're struggling a bit, just get me on strike. I'll try to do my best to take us forward. And that's exactly what he did. After scoring like 41 in the power play, they went on to smash a 157-run partnership in the 16.3 overs that they were together at the crease. Duplessis scored an incredible 8 fours and 8 sixes for his 113 or 58 balls. His half century came in the 12th over after hitting Jason Holder for 2 sixes and a four, and it came of 33 deliveries. And it was an incredible knock from him. Hendricks did join the party, after striking about just over 60. He was really struggling in the middle to really get the ball away. But after a couple of boundaries, he hit 4 fours and 2 sixes before losing his wicket. He got 45 or 46 balls by the end of the game. And then Donovan Ferreira went out quite cheaply, which I was a little bit disappointed about. I was hoping that he would stick around with Faf. Instead of trying to smack the ball out of the park or whatever he was trying to do, he should have just rotated the strike and give it back to Faf to finish the game. It actually put him in a little bit of a bother, but not too much because Faf was seeing the ball like a bloody beach ball. So it didn't really bother him that much. In fact, he actually hit the winning six to claim an 8 wicket win for his side, a very important win to keep them in that hunt for that top four slot. Um, so overall, I think a fantastic knock. I'm so happy that Faf was the first person to score 100 in this tournament. It was phenomenal, and it wasn't an overseas player. I'm happy that it was a local South African to do so. Let me see the comment section quickly, and before we start talking about the ODI side, etc. Lawrence saying, can we add Faf? What a knock! That was just showing why he's still one of the best in the country, 100%. Such a bad squad. Really thought we'd get to see some changes, and we'll talk about the squad a little later. We're gonna rely heavily on our batters to get good runs. That's for the ODI. I'll keep that for a little bit later. Talking about DSG, I was a bit I think Matthew Brzezinski did an excellent job after losing so many partners. And Heinrich Klaasen, I've been very critical of him in the past. You guys know that. I've had a couple of chats with a lot of you guys and worried about his consistency. But in this tournament, he proved me completely wrong. This guy is batting phenomenally at the moment. He's 100% in form. And he was in form heading into the Test series as well as into the ODI, into the T20s as well a little bit. He was as well as on form. But the form he's showing in this tournament has been phenomenal, and I've been very impressed with him. Especially in a batting lineup that has really been struggling and crumbling. I think Heinrich Klaasen has been phenomenal, and he needs to get his credit where it's due, and his credit is due right now. And I think he's going to cause a lot of headaches for the South African selectors when it comes to the T20 side going forward for Rob and his staff, etc. Um, I want to see some of the other comments that you guys have left about Faf first before we get into the ODI team. Um, let's see what you guys say. Khalid, surely if Faf makes himself available, you'll play in the ODI World Cup at the end of the year. I'm not sure about ODIs at the moment. Maybe. I would like to see how he's doing, what he's doing with regards to that. But in T20s, I think he could. But I mean, in the 2023 World Cup that's happening around the corner, he could actually make that team as well. But I mean, if you're thinking about the future T20 cricket, the next World Cup, perhaps maybe going with someone younger is an option. But I think that if you're going to replace someone, which is, in my opinion, should be Temba Bavuma, I don't think that T20 cricket is his game. ODI and Test cricket it's fine for him. But if you have someone like Faf du Plessis at your disposal for experience, I think that would be great for the guys, or like Deval Brevis and all of the guys that we want to see young, fresh in the side, like Tristan Stubbs, Deval Brevis, etc. All of them, Ryan Rickleton, perhaps in a possibly could get a chance in T20 the way he's been playing in this SA20 has been okay. I think he's had a couple of good knocks, showed some good signs in others when he lost his wicket, and he himself was frustrated about the wickets that he did lose. But maybe perhaps it could be in an ODI team. Kelly says she would prefer Faf in ODIs rather than T20s. She's going to come on the show very soon, so I will get her thoughts on that as well. Let's see. Apparently, Faf and Rob are interesting. Yeah, so I heard. And guys, I would like to ask you guys, please, the fans on Twitter, etc., when you guys are citing different news stories, etc., please cite where you got it from, the sources, because those journalists, like for example me, I saw a lot of people quoting from my piece things online, but not citing where they got the story from or the information from with regards to Shukri Conrad. And the exclusive that we did on our channel took a lot of hard work to get that over the line and to put that piece put that video together. It took me over nine or 9 or 10 hours to actually edit it, put it together, and get it out to you guys on time at the time that I thought that I said I was going to release it. So for other people that break stories like the news on Faf, please cite, like for example, Sport 24, Kainiso, and all of those guys, and Stuart Hess, and Zaire Adams, and Ken Boland, and as well as Tinas, and all of these journalists that have been breaking, Fidaus Munda, all of these guys, these journalists that have been breaking stories. If you do see their story, because I'm just mentioning some of the most popular ones in South Africa that I can think of right now, cite them, please. Give them some credit for the work that they've done, because they've worked really hard to get those stories and to build the connections and to build the opportunities to be able to put out stories like that for you guys. So please just cite them when you do break that news on your Twitter accounts, etc., and whatever you guys do. Faf getting his own back. Yes, he 100%. It was a fantastic knock. I had to delay the show a little bit so that I can put up a story, because we can't just keep that quiet. I needed to put it up as soon as the game was done, and I managed to do so, thankfully. So a fantastic knock by Faf. I think it was excellent, and I'm hoping that they do bring him back into South African cricket somehow. I think his leadership skills is phenomenal, and I think that he will be an amazing person for the dressing room. I think he'll be an amazing person for the youngsters. I always talk about youngsters having great players around them that can teach them about the game and take them forward. It's nice to have an experienced head like Faf in the team. They must find a place for him somewhere, I feel, in my opinion. So that's enough about the SA20. Today's show is not about the SA20. Today's show is about what would your ODI 11 be. Seeing that the Proteas are playing in an ODI series against England on the 27th of January. It starts very soon, that is. And we are looking forward to obviously seeing what happens in that particular tournament. To give you guys a quick update on the channel and where I've been, guys, the SA20 games I've been covering in Paul and in Newlands. The game starts at 5:30 or at 1:30. For me to come live from the stadium is impossible because the Wi-Fi connection isn't very strong. I mean, there's not even LTE in the stadiums, which sucks. Because of all the people that are in the stadium, the cell phone towers kind of get blocked. So you can't even send an SMS to your friends in the stadium and let it get through. A lot of people, fans, can actually in the live chat can probably agree with me on that and actually back me up on that. So for me to go live at the stadium is tough. There's a lot of content we need to do. So obviously, because I can't do a live show, I've had to do pre-recorded daily shows from the ground itself to try and give you guys an insight into the behind the scenes. We do not get exclusive content for this SA20, and we do not get any access to the players. We do not get access to training sessions, etc. So it's very difficult for us to produce content. Ultimately, it's just an article about our experiences in the ground, etc. So what I've tried to do is try to make it a little bit more authentic to Cricket Fanatics magazine by showing you guys behind the scenes, talking to different journalists, personalities, etc. People that I have access to tell you guys about what we have experienced. So it's hard for me to go live because I only get back from the stadium at 11 o'clock for 5:30 game, and sometimes even for when I'm going to Paul for a 1 game, I sometimes also only get home 11 o'clock because of the distance traveled, editing and cutting those videos and giving it to you guys. It's really a lot of work. So I haven't been able to get home in time to be able to do a live show. Throughout the SA20, because of when the games are, we'll be going live after the game, because I've noticed that you guys, if I do go at 7 and the game is on, a lot of you guys aren't going to watch this live show. You're going to be obviously watching the cricket. So it's much nicer for us to have something to discuss after the game. So that's how things are going to be going forward with regards to when the SA20 comes back. We're obviously on a week break for the ODI series. For the ODI series, of course, it's different. We go live directly after the game and we do pre-shows, obviously, at the normal slots. That's 7 o'clock. So for now, for the rest of the week, until we start with SA content again, I'm crossing fingers that I'm going to be going to Joburg to cover the last home game at the Wanderers and the last game at Pretoria. Hopefully, I can get that in and then be able to bring you guys a daily show of behind the scenes at those two venues, because we've only done Cape Town and Paul. It's the only two venues I was able to go, and it was feasible enough for me to go. Ticket prices are so expensive to fly around, so it is something that I'm trying to do for you guys as best as possible, to give you guys an overview of different grounds. So that's what I'm going to be doing. But for this week, we're going to have live shows at our regular times, and obviously directly after the games have been played, we will go live on the show. So let me just give you guys a quick update on everything with regards to what the show is obviously about. This is obviously a show all about the ODI squad. So let me just get you guys a quick graphic so that you guys can have a look and see what is going on over here with regards to the team. Um, quick sticks, guys. Just wait a minute. Just give me a couple of seconds to just get it ready for you. So I'm going to put up the squad on the screen for you guys. And I know you guys are going to have a lot of questions about certain things. You're going to have a lot of questions about why this particular squad was selected. And I've got an answer for you that you might not like, but it will give an explanation into what has been happening. So this is the squad that was picked for the ODI series against England. I hope you guys can see that. I can't necessarily go much. I can't really zoom much more in. Okay, I can actually. I'm lying. Cool. So we've got Temba Bavuma as skipper, Quentin de Kock, Risa Hendricks, Marco Jansen, Harry Klaasen, Sisanda Magala, Keshav Maharaj, Janaman Malan, Aiden Markram, David Miller, Lungingiri, Anik Nokia, Wayne Panel, Kagiso Rabada, Tebrey Shamsi, and Rassi van der Dussen. That's the team for you guys. There's only really been two extra additions to the side, I would say, Marco Jansen and Sisanda Magala. Those are the two extra names that have been added to the side that is different from the ODI sides that we've seen in the past. So that's not necessarily many changes, and a lot of you guys are not happy with that. You want to see brand new players into the team. What you guys need to remember is that Rob is not available now for selection and talking to the selectors and all of those type of things to pick the new squad quite yet. Shukri Conrad is going to be standing in for this particular series as an interim ODI coach or white ball coach for this particular series. On top of that, you need to remember that these players are under contract. A lot of them have maybe 1 year or 2-year contracts or whatever the case may be. So they have to play out their contracts. They can't just cancel their contracts and give new contracts right now. So a lot of these players are going to have to play. On top of that, this is a very experienced side. I don't really have an issue with this experienced side because we haven't really seen them play much actually as a unit. They've picked a very strong side, in my opinion. And a lot of people coming for Temba, but Temba's average in ODI cricket is like 43 or something. So I don't think it's fair to decimate ODI cricket. T20 cricket, by all means, have a full go at him. Just don't be racist, but have a full go at him with regards to the side. So a very interesting squad that was picked, quite experienced. And I would like to know what you guys think in the comment section. So let me just have a quick look at what you guys have said about this particular squad. I've seen some people say what their squads are. I'm going to read those out a little bit later. Such a bad squad. Really thought we would see some changes and new faces. I've explained to you now why that is the case. Janaman Malan just made the ODI squad based on 2021 performances. He had a terrible year in 22, but he's a contracted player. So, like I explained, if you're contracted, your contract lasts for a certain amount of time. That's why we must be very careful on who we give our contracts to make sure that they are the right players that are getting these contracts. For example, someone like Marco Jansen, I feel deserves a contract. The way he's played in Test cricket, the way he's now played in SA20 as well. I think that he's been an excellent player for South Africa, and I think he does deserve a national contract when they do change things up. Yes, in fact, Miller and Klaasen should play 4 and 5, but sadly, there's no other option to bat at 6. Um, we've got some more comments over here. Can we just wave the white flag now? Says so Smith. I don't know why you guys are so underwhelmed by this squad. I don't think it's as bad as a squad as people are making it out to be. I mean, obviously, I would like to see them reset and change things and build a new squad, but it is what it is. We have to accept it, and I think we should support them. We haven't seen this particular unit play a lot of ODIs in the past. as a unit. There's always been a makeshift team that's been picked. Remember the other ODI series that we've seen for those particular points that we need for the qualifiers. We saw Zubair Hamza, Calvarena, all of those guys play too. So there was a lot of changes within the ODI setup. They are actually giving it a full go when I'm looking at this particular team. Riley should be dropped. Time to move on, guys. Being in Faf or some of the younger guys. Yeah, I don't mind experienced players as long as they're performing. I've always had an opinion about Riley the so that he's a one and that he's a hit and miss type of player. You'll score 100 and then go out for a duck. You'll score a high 80, then go out for 12 or 13. So below 20. He does that often. It's quite, and in a tournament like this, you will get exposed because you play so many games on the bounce. So you'll get exposed quickly because there's no really much breaks in between. Um, uh, Jordan Collins says it's a terrible squad. I would like to know what your guys' squads are and what your 11s would be if you had a free reign. But I would like to first know before you guys do that. Let's just talk about England's going to beat us like Australia did, says Jordan Collins. We'll see about that. Khalid, I can understand that, but form doesn't ask for who's coach or not. Can't keep on ignoring domestic form, but I'm sure against West Indies we'll see the direction they want to go in. Yeah, no, they shouldn't. I agree with you. They shouldn't ignore domestic form. I said as well that Klaasen should have played in the Test series based on his domestic form, and they didn't go with him. They went with Kai Zondo, which I didn't really necessarily agree with. So it is something that they need to fix. I mean, I had a long chat with Shukri, which I can tell you guys about on the latest show, because I wanted to go in more depth with that conversation with Shukri on the show with you guys and talk to you guys about it. It might be the best squad we have, but answer this: would any of these guys make the? But that's a stupid. I don't like. Okay, no, I'm not gonna say stupid, but I don't think that's a good argument. Um, because what does that help us? Like the fact that this is our best squad is we can't do anything about the fact that this is our best squad. Can only pick from the best. So by saying none of these side players will get into the England side is a weak argument, I feel, because there's nothing we can do about it. So we have to just support what we have available to us. Okay, I'm gonna get some help from Kelly before I get slaughtered. Welcome to the show, Kelly. Good to hear from you today. I'm glad that you were available for this
Hi.
conversation.
Sorry,
How are
awkward
you
laughing
doing?
again. Good, thanks to you. I'm so glad we
No, it's
saw
fine.
the first 100 and the first five six from Orula
Yeah,
lately.
what? Yeah, what a tournament so far. I think for some teams it's maybe up and down. Like I think DSG, there's a lot of issues there. I mean, we'll probably do a show where we dive into the SA20 later this week a little bit, dependable on what content we get from CSA with regards to the ODI series. So I would like to obviously do a SA20s themed show as well in this break if we get the chance. But we obviously have to cover an ODI series.
I've seen
So that's
DSG
going to be
call
the
two
main
things.
focus.
The last surprise I'll say is Durban Super Garbage and Durban Super Klaasen, which which is no
That's
perfect sense.
100%.
No, I
I've
don't
been
take
very impressed
responsibility
with
for them.
Klassen.
Just seen it.
Yeah, yeah, I've been very impressed with Andy Klassen. Actually, he actually
Yeah,
turned my mind around with regards to him as a player because the pressure that he's playing under in this tournament is phenomenal, and he's been
yeah,
consistent. So that's
he
key to
has
me.
been. He
Yeah,
has
so
been,
that's been key to me.
especially and look, what I really disagreed with in the game here, and he's a player we probably will talk about for the ODI squad because he definitely must play. Is that when they play him at four in his best position, he's great. Whether he's finishing, whether he's rescuing the innings, it doesn't matter what he's asked to do. But they started messing with him in the PE game, Quebec game, sorry, um, trying to conserve my words. Um, they kept on screwing around with this consistent need for a left hand right hand combination at the crease for some reason, and all of a sudden you see Quinton de Kock down at 6 or 5 or 6, and Matty Bretsky opening with Carl Mayers, and then Klaasen coming in at 3, sending in your best batsman out of position. Oh, Vian Mulder was 3, sorry, and he was in at 4. But then it was Quinton de Kock at 5. So then 2 of your best batsmen are now coming in when you're in heaps of trouble. I actually forgot Vian Mulder was even playing.
So Kelly,
Okay.
yeah, Vian Mulder is crazy. Kelly, so the point of this particular call-in and the opportunity is for me to actually try to get an understanding of the squad, your understanding of the squad, but I also want to know what your 11 will be from the 15 that is picked. So first and foremost, give me your opinion on the squad, because a lot of people are complaining about the fact that it's the same squad that we've seen before, just with 2 additions, maybe Marco Jansen and Magala. So give me your thoughts first on the squad and what you think of it, given the circumstances of where South Africa's in, with Rob not being available at the moment, Shukri being the interim coach, and then give me your 11 that you'd pick from this 15.
I'd absolutely not include debutants, so to speak, new debutants in a makeshift environment when your white ball coach isn't available. I mean, he's not in the country, he's coaching via Zoom. So even though ideally your leading run scorers in the One Day Cup should probably be featuring on Rickleton, there's the issue with the ankle, which is a longer story than is probably appropriate for the show. But also Tristan Stubbs might have been a bit unlucky to miss out on a wider squad experience there. Don't think he would have gotten a game necessarily, but he was the second highest run scorer in the tournaments. Tony de Zorzi's also been doing really well, even if he tailed off a bit slightly. And while Janneman Milan on that end, and as well as Reeza Hendricks, have been inconsistent. But then again, both of them do hold CSA central contracts, so you're not having to pay them additional match fees over and above everything else. And on the bowler side, I would have liked to see George Linder there as well. He had a very good One Day Cup. But then you can't really judge too harshly those guys who haven't had the opportunity to play much One Day cricket because they've been away with Proteas. But other than that, you know, they've chosen a squad as close to a unit and as familiar with the internal sort of movements that they have to make as a squad as they could do with a caretaker coach. And, you know, Shukri is going to be a caretaker for this tournament, for the series. So as far as 11 goes, I'd leave the spinning option for the day. I'm not sure if I'd go for 2 spinners, since Aiden Markram is actually in good touch with the ball as an extra bowling option. Pretty big boundaries in Bloem. So I think Tabraze may come into play there, but I'm not familiar with how he has played recently in Bloemfontein, I will admit. He very much blows hot and cold, and he's the kind of player that you don't have the option of opening the bowling with him necessarily. It would probably be the worst idea in my book. While you do with Kesh. You can use him up front, you can use him with a harder ball. I think Nokia and Jansen would be good picks, because they'd be able to extract some bounce out of that pitch, and not, you know, short balls, not the balls that you're going to dispatch to the fence, you know, that awkward bounce that hits you sort of around your neck. Sort of like they used to bowling in PE, but these still have longer boundaries to work with. As for batting, I wouldn't include Janneman straight off the bat. I think Klaasen has to play. So obviously, if you open up with Quinny and Timber. Aiden at 3. Or Van der Dussen at 3. Aiden at 4. Klaasen at 5. Miller at 6. Janssen, Parnell. And I'd like to rest KG. And Ngidi, Nokia, Shamsi's at 11. Hopefully I didn't name 12 now.
I think you were 12 names.
They're going 12 names. Otherwise, then, because I aim for the extra spin option, I would. See, I'm worried about if we'd really need the extra bowling option. Then Aiden would probably be the one to miss out.
Ish.
Unfortunately, like you can't equate one-day form to domestic, like to his one international form isn't that great. But then when it comes to openers, do you put Janneman up there, or do you stick with Quinton, or do you keep Quinton? It's still another openers question. I'm trying to rack my brain. I mean, who else could you potentially open with that could leave a spot there? You could use Reza. I mean, but Reza's form in the One Day Cup puts him below.
Although he won the final for them.
He did, he did. But actually, in terms of numbers, Aiden is a better bowling option, and even though Reza did show some form with the ball, I still think Aiden's the one to play there. Otherwise, we have to cut out one of Parnell or Janssen. I think maybe cut out Parnell in that sense, because I think Janssen's extra bounce and bloom might make a difference. He's an awkward heart, an awkward customer.
So the team that you did pick, I think you did.
No, that wasn't my team. I was just going up to 11.
No, I'm saying that. Yeah, so now I'm talking about the team that you picked now on the show.
Yeah.
Yes, now on the show. You said Quinton de Kock, Temba, Rassie, Klaasen, Miller, or Markram and Miller.
Miller, yeah.
Right, at 6.
So Janssen
and then Janssen Parnell.
Yeah.
Oh, but you can have Janssen Parnell, KG, Nokia, and Shamsi.
No, I wouldn't play KG. I'd actually give him a rest. I'd probably.
Yeah, so I'm saying KG/Lungi.
Yeah. And then
the team that you picked was 11.
Shamsi, yeah.
I was just not been able to pick it live.
Yeah. I just have a feeling that that's the sort of pitch that might suit Shamsi a bit more than a normal slow left armer, because I don't know, it's just I haven't seen much cricket there this season, but there are big boundaries, and there is an extra spinning option if Aiden does play. So that's why I think it would be a case of... Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, I'm just going to ask you one more question before you leave. I just want you to explain to the people a little bit about the central contracts, because I think the reason why they didn't pick a brand new team is, firstly, Rob's not available. Secondly, there's a lot of contracted players in the squad that are centrally contracted. Contracts. If you just fire them and cancel them, they're all going to go to Saka and complain. So from this perspective, can you just give some insight into that to the people that don't understand that?
At the beginning of every season, they're going to hand out a central contract for that season, and we've only got this tour and the West Indies tour, I believe, until the next cycle is going to come up. And Janneman Milan literally just got his, and he hasn't had a chance to play for it yet. So that is actually something that you could argue before a labor. It could be an employment or labor law dispute. He's been fit to play. And guys like Tienus de Bray, and this is the problem that I had with him going to Australia as well. if you're just going to sit on the sidelines, take a contracted player because you don't pay them match fees, usually over and above what they get. Um, they've got it's a whole lot smoother to get them through the system. I mean, they could have even taken Reza for this. Reza also has a central contract. So if they don't play Reza at any stage again, then it's also, a black mark against them. A guy like Marco Janssen is a new inclusion, doesn't have a central contract. Klaasen lost his and has the opportunity to get it back and is now being given that opportunity over and above that, that those couple of games that he's played.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously you don't want to label or dispute, on top of everything else.
Yeah. Okay. Kelly, thanks a lot for coming on the show. I'm going to bring you on very soon again. And when we have more time to speak about other things, I'm going to get into the live chat again and discuss the rest. You can get into the live chat and put your team down that you actually picked as well, because I'd like to read it out on the show. Cool.
Okay, I'll put it down now. Thanks. Bye.
Awesome. Thanks, Kelly. Bye. Okay, so guys, let's just get into the thoughts of you guys. I want to see your ODI 11s. So please pop them up on the screen right now in the live chat. If you want to give a super chat, that would be even greater. If you want me to force me to read out your 11, I'm going to read the ones that are coming up at the bottom. I can't go back to the top of the live chat. It's too far for me to go. So I'm going to start with Vishal's team over here. So please, Lorenzo, Lawrence, I saw you guys put it up a little bit early on. Can you please just repost your 11s and what you want to see in against England? So we've got Vishal first. He says he wants Quinton, Temba, and Aiden. That's his top three. He wants Rassi at 4, Klaasen at 5, Miller at 6, Janssen at 7, Parnell at 8, Nokia, Ngidi, and Shamji. Can also play Magala instead of Lungi. Great team, I think it is over there. I actually agree with a lot of these players. You see, for me, it's between Rassi and Aiden. It's going to be a big one because the one's in form, or not in form, but you could say both are in form with regards to white ball cricket. But I'm talking about with regards to ODI cricket. Rassi's been more consistent than Aiden has in ODI cricket. So who do you pick? Do you go with a younger guy? That's the future of South African cricket, in my opinion. One of the future players in South African cricket, I think, as a leader. He's my choice for captain in the white ball arena. Or do you go with someone like Rassi who has done it for South Africa? Now, Rassi is still struggling with regards to his strike rate and picking up that. So we need to have a good power play with Quinton de Kock and Temba. But you've put Aiden and Rassi into the team, which is brilliant. So I don't have to really worry about that. So good team over there. I think that's an excellent team. Lorenzo says he thinks that they should make way with the central contracts, use that money to pay the players huge match wages. It will also make selection a lot easier. It does put pressure on selectors 100%, because like we have the situation right now, we can't pick a fresh new squad at the moment. The season's almost done, guys. March is done, and then the cycle starts again. So at the beginning of this next season, they'll give a new contract. I mean, the timing of Mark Boucher's exit was poor. And I feel to an extent a little bit disrespectful to South African cricket, but that's just my opinion. Doesn't mean that I'm right. That's just how I feel. And sometimes I mustn't always go on what I feel. I must think about the logistics of things. And he had a great opportunity to go to Mumbai Indians, so for the money. So I'm never going to this. I would never really necessarily diss someone for wanting to take the pay cut. If they get offered an opportunity like that, it's a massive opportunity for his career, and it's going to be good money as well. So you can't really hate him for that. But I just think the timing of everything was a little bit hurtful to South African cricket in general. But how many times have we seen T20 squad being picked and Malan doesn't get picked, but he's contracted though? He's contracted for ODI cricket. He's sent the contract for ODI cricket. So certain players are contracted for either Test cricket, ODI, T20, some all formats, some only ODI and T20, some only Test and ODI. So the different contracts are for different things. Malan is contracted for ODI cricket alone, not T20 cricket, and that's why that's the situation with regards to that one. So you guys must go and check who's contracted with what, which contracts are for what, and then we can have a proper discussion about this. Mark L says Neil Mantham spoke about stopping giving central contracts. So what's the thoughts on that? I think that is a good idea. More than I'm thinking about it, it does make selection a lot easier, because when a contracted player does poorly, it's very difficult to drop him and bring in a new guy that's not contracted. So I think it might be a good way forward. I think that might be a good way forward. Kanisai says Timba, Quinton, Rassi, Aiden, Klaasen, Miller, Janssen, Ponel, Magala, Nokia, and Shamsi. Very good team. A lot of people have a very similar team over here, and I'm liking it. I like this top six, and I like this top seven. Ponel, I'm a fan. I think he's done well, but I would like to see. Um, I'm happy with one all rounder. I don't think we need two. Um, Parnell hasn't really necessarily been very good with the bat. So if I can get extra pace into the attack, I'll rather go with that, or the skill of Lungingidi, or someone like Magala, who has a little bit more extra pace. Dick says England scored 400 at Bloemfontein last time. It's the probably might do the same. Saul says he wants Riza and Bavuma to open the batting. Malan, Markram, Klaasen, Miller, Linde, Janssen, Bonnell, Nokia, and Gidi. So he's dropping Quinton de Kock. Quinton hasn't been in great form for South Africa, so I can understand it. Um, but he's such a destructive player. I'm always scared to drop Quinton, because you never know what Quinton you're going to get in the day. And that X factor, having that X factor player in a team can be quite handy, especially if you do have players that are consistent. So if Pavuma can consistently score runs and the rest can too, then Quinton de Kock being the one player that is inconsistent wouldn't hurt South Africa as much. Mark L says he wants Quinton, Riza, Aiden to be the top three, then Temba at four, Klaasen, Miller, and then Janssen and Bernal, Magala, Nokia, and Shamsi. So it's nice to see that people are putting the two all-rounders in the team. I like that, because it gives a nice balance to the team. Kelly's team is Quinton de Kock and Temba opening the batting, with Rassi van der Dussen at three, Aiden, Klaasen, Miller, Janssen, Parnell, Nokia, Shamsi, alternative is Maharaj, and alternative Ngidi or Magala. Um, what's the difference contracted and non-contracted players get? What's the difference contracted and non-contracted players get? So basically, the central contracted players get a fixed salary, and that means that when they go back to domestic cricket, they have to play domestically, and the domestic teams don't pay their salary, whereas the non-contracted players need to get paid by the union. So when they go back to the domestic season, they get paid by the union, so Western Province, Gauteng, etc. And it's a problem, because a lot of these unions don't have a lot of money. So the money that these players that are playing for South Africa that are not contracted, that they are getting, is quite slim. And then it's match bonuses, etc., and things like that. Tabo Gama says he wants to cook Makram, Pavuma, Van der Dussen, Klaasen, Miller, Janssen, Parnell, Magala, Nokia, and Shamsi. Okay, then. Hey, Stuart. Stuart was at the game today, so look out for his piece tomorrow morning. We're going to put his experience at Wanderers, seeing Faf's 100. I want to hear about that. So I'm really excited to see what he writes. I hope I'm not putting you under pressure, Stuart. Contractless players get fixed annual salary as well as a certain other benefits. CSA is also responsible for rehabilitation if injured on tour. That's another thing. That's why the whole Ryan Rickleton thing was a big thing, because CSA wasn't liable for Ryan Rickleton necessarily. So if he got injured on tour, that money would have to come out of somewhere else. I don't know from where to obviously make sure that he's okay. Non-contract players have their own medical aid, get paid per match or series. Thank you, Kelly. This Kelly is a Kelly is a G. Let's just put our hands together for Kelly. She has an amazing knowledge, and that's why we bring her on the show. Kelly, I'm gonna say, I don't want to. I'll maybe tell you this offline rather. I won't tell you it online in front of all the live viewers. Parnell is not all rounder. He's a bowler who can bat. Parnell is a very good at the death though. Probably our best death bowler. That's true as well. But I think I like Anik Nokia at the death as well. He's been okay now and again. I think Lungi Giri can also take that death bowling role. I remember watching him save us a game in East London against England, bowling beautifully at the death. By taking away central contacts, it will take away their financial security. Don't think the likes of Quinton Cock, for example, would want to play on a match fee. Yes, and that's the problem as well. On the flip side of that, and also money wise, if CSA had that amount of money available to the splash out cash like that, with regards to um, those type of things. Also, it takes away the fairness of players, on how much they get paid, because I think a lot of the contracted players will get a similar salary with extra benefits, of course, dependable on performances, etc. Whether they play, whether on the bench, all of those type of things. So when you start giving salaries out, according to players, who gets more, who gets less, how they're going to monitor that is going to be very, very important. It's like when you're working in a workplace and you see someone else get less, more money than you, that does less work than you're going to be feeling a little bit irritated. And if you're performing well, you might be performing well and your output might be better, but someone else does more work and they get maybe paid more than you, or they've been long at the company and now they get paid more than you. Even though you're producing more money for the company or getting more results, you're going to feel some sort of way. So there's a lot of things that come into that with regards to salaries, etc. Khalid, I'm tired of Quinton de Kock. How many World Cups has he failed? Yeah, it's true. But everyone barring Bavuma has been inconsistent, and that's true. And that's a problem, and that's something that needs to be fixed. You need to pick players that are consistently good at domestic too. That is a sign that they will most likely be consistent at the higher level. If you're picking players that are inconsistent at a domestic level, how can you expect them to be consistent at international level when the level is harder, when the bowlers are better? This doesn't make logical sense to me at all. It's like you pick someone that has a success rate of deploying a parachute 99.9 or 60% of the time. Are you going to take it? Not a chance. You want someone that's maybe 99 or 90%, 99 or 100% of the time. You're not going to take a guy or instructor that has a safe fly rate of 60%, are you? Um, should strictly limit and structure central contracts. Some guys only play some formats and not others. I like the way who recently did it. I think it's Pakistan or Bangladesh. I think that released their squad with all their contracted players. I think it might be Bangladesh. And they showed how they split it up. They showed test and ODI. They showed test only. They showed T20, T20 ODI, T20 test, or ODI test, ODI alone, T20 alone. So they showed all the way it's broken up and how much people get paid. Now, according to what category you fit into, there's a specific salary for that. I would like CSA to do the same and actually reveal all of that to us. Make it easier for us to see that. They maybe do it on this website and stuff, but I don't think anybody reads that. Texas team is Yanaman, his last chance. Quinton de Kock, Rassi, Aiden. So he's Miller, Marco, Panel, Maharaj, Lungi, KG, and Andik. Drop in the captain that's the most consistent batter in the team. Okay. Interesting one. Most people in the live chat are dropping KG. Dropping the captain is unrealistic. Yes, it is very much unrealistic. To be fair, Miller has been solid for the last. Miller's a top player, and he's really changed my mind on the way he's improved. I do have one issue with him, though. However, I think that his strike rotation when batters fall is poor. He sometimes puts batters on strike when he should be anchoring the innings, or not anchoring the innings, but farming the strike and facing majority of the balls. And we see him rotating strike with bowlers sometimes, or with all rounders are coming in. I would like him to take more authority with regards to those particular situations. For us to stay alive in ODI Super League, we need to avoid England whitewash and beat the Dutch in our remaining two ODIs, which we should do. Yeah, we should have beaten them in the World Cup too, and look what happened. Oh, I disagree. Malay and Nassim have been consistent for the last 2 years. I didn't say that they're not. Huh? I've said that they were. I don't remember me saying that they're not. Khalid was Bangladesh. Okay, cool. Like that. Russia has not been consistent unless you've been consistently lackluster. In ODI cricket, he's been consistent. Is the most consistent batter in the team. Correction, Rashid van der Dussen is the most consistent batter in the team. Yes, okay, cool. Yes, ultimately he is. The most consistent batter in the team. Actually, I'm wrong about that. Um, Tim is one of the best ODI batters we have currently in the team. Whether you like that or not is irrelevant. Um, but I know that in Test cricket and ODI cricket, there hasn't been much of an issue with regards to Temba Bavuma. In ODI cricket, Temba Bavuma averages 42 in ODI cricket, and 34.5 in Tests. So in ODI cricket, it's been pretty decent. I know Dex is not Test cricket. I didn't say that in my previous statement. Sorry, guys, load shedding heat. So just switching the Wi to the Wi-Fi's. I'm back again. Muller should bat at 4 in ODIs. Dumni was boss at batting with a tail. Yes, he was. I would like Muller to bat a little bit more like that. Be able to marshal the tail a lot better. I don't think he does that very well, to be honest, in my opinion. Makas George says he will drop Panel. Lawrence Bailey and can't have a slow over, right? Matt B should have been there before Juncker a long time ago. Who are you talking about? Where's Matt B? Okay, I can't find it now. Um, the most consistent audio batter, Khalid, is not Timba. The most consistent batter is Rassi. I already corrected myself. But one of the best averages in the team is Temba Bavuma. Rassi has the best average. He's been our best player in ODI cricket, but Timba is close second. I'm not close second, but he's second. We have too many strike rate players, Malan, Temba, Rassi against England. That won't work. It's true as well. We need to up our strike rates with regards to the power play, etc. I think Timba has a big series on his hands. When it comes to the series, he needs to play his natural game so that Quinn Lecoq can actually also play better at the other end and free up a little bit. We need Quinn Lecoq to fire in the series 100%. Is it just me or have some of the pitches in the SA20 been? We will talk about the SA20 in another show where I can go much more in detail with regards to it. I hate Timber. I hate Timber, honestly. I don't know why he's captain. The previous captains were better than him across all formats. He's so inconsistent. Oh, hate's a strong word, brother. Most of the coastal games. Okay, wait. Let's not talk about the AC20 right now. Timber is the fourth best batter in the ODI team after Rasif van der Dussen, Miller, and Quentin de Kock. Quentin de Kock in ODI cricket recently for South Africa. Based on average, yes, you're right. Based on average, you're right. Based on average, you're correct. Okay, so that still means he must be picked, not dropped. You guys are being very specific and specific on what I'm saying, etc. The point is that he shouldn't be dropped. That's my point. He's the captain and he's done pretty well in ODI cricket. You guys asked him to average more. He averages well in ODI cricket. Now you want him to be dropped. That doesn't make logical sense to me. So who are you going to pick? And then who are you going to pick in instead of him? With regards to ODI cricket, if you want Yanaman Malande, then great. Then that's what you want. Me personally, I won't go with that. I will open with Quinton and Quinton. I will open up with Quinton and Timber. What's the issue with Timber in ODI cricket? I don't get it either, bro. I really don't get it either. Tabo, please don't compare likes of Graham, AB, Faf with Pavuma. You can't do that either. You can't do that either. I didn't want him to drop Khalid in ODI. It's just only in T. Yeah, me too. T20s. I said exactly the same thing at the top of the show. I'm sorry you guys might have come in late and missed my what I said. Yes, he should definitely not be dropped. In fact, in ODIs, Timber is the best. It's his best format. Yes, and I agree with you. So I've said it at the top of the show that I don't think Temba should be dropped in ODIs. I think actually ODIs and Test should be his mantle. He should stay there and dominate there and play there. And T20s, you must forget about it. I don't think that T20 cricket is his game. Where T20 cricket is going and the way the T20 game has been played. If you look at other SA20 league, even the way players want to play, I mean, bar JSK ultimately, the rest of the teams around the country are trying to play an attacking brand of cricket. You know what I'm worried about, guys? What I'm worried about is a lot of the England players weren't necessarily informed. Josh Butler just got on form now with the 50 today. I mean, yeah, today. But the other English players that are in the ODI squad haven't necessarily been on top form with regards to the batting department, like Karen and them. So I'm a little bit scared that they're going to be extra motivated to beat South Africa after they're embarrassing themselves in the SA20, some of them. So that's a little bit of a thing that I'm worried about with regards to that. So, guys, thank you for sharing your teams with me. Thank you for joining the show. I really enjoyed chatting to you guys again. We will have another daily show tomorrow. Based on what the content is coming out, I'll decide on the topic. But based on the content that we're going to be getting from CSA with regards to the ODI series, we're going to get the press, etc. I will bring you a show tomorrow evening to discuss that. Remember that we will be going live at 7 as per usual now that the SA20 is on a break. So we'll be going on live at 7 like we usually did. Come on. I was waiting for this. Congratulations to Arsenal. Well done on the win. I was hoping it's going to be a draw. I'm just a little bit irritated that they didn't check Shevchenko for offside, but they checked Nketiah for offside. I was a little bit irritated with regards to that. Do we have the England squad? Let me check for you. For you. So here we go. Jofra Archer will be back apparently. No man, this is old. What is this? Here we go. I will bring it to you now. Just hold on. Here we go. So the squad for England is Josh Butler, captain, Moeen Ali, Jofra Archer, Harry Brook, Sam Curran, Ben Duckett, David Malan, Adil Rashid, Jason Roy, Phil Salt, Ollie Stone, Reece Topley, and David Willie and Chris Wokes. So I'm going to post it quickly in the live chat. I hope I can post all of them. Let me just see. Yeah. There we go, guys. That's the England squad for you guys in the live chat. Very strong team. Josh Butler's in form after he hit like a flipping crazy 50 today for the Royals to help them win that game. So yeah, that's the squad for England so that you guys can, so now I can sign off. So thanks a lot for tuning in, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Don't forget to smash the like button, comment, share, subscribe, and click that notification bell for all future videos. I also would like you guys to please download the latest issue of Cricket Fanatics magazine monthly. Every issue is 100% free, straight to your inbox every month. The link is on the screen as well as in the description. You can also become a patron today to help us grow and promote South African cricket, and also help us keep things, keep us the lights on in this particular business, and allow us to be able to develop and grow as we go along. Please become a patron. That's how we're going to stay alive, guys. I'm also going to open up YouTube membership very soon, so you guys can also get involved with the membership account and get special things, etc. I have to plan it out properly so I can give you guys value for your time and your money. Also, like, comment, share, subscribe, and go to cricketfanaticsmag.com for all your regular updates. Thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you guys tomorrow with another daily show, 7 o'clock normal time, as we normally do it, guys. Hopefully more people will come on and watch the show because it's a little earlier. So sleep well. Hope you guys enjoyed Faf's innings and everything and the show, and I'll see you guys tomorrow with another daily video. Peace out.